mosque. Now the Hajjahfatimahmosque is a mosque located along this route in the Kampongglam district within the Kalam planning area in Singapore. So the mosque was designed in a mix of Islamic and European architectural style, and it was completed in 1846. The mosque is named after an aristocratic Malay lady, Hajjah Fatimah, who commissioned its construction. Now the building of the mosque was initiated by Hajjah Fatimah, who was originally from a wealthy Malayan family. She married a Bugis prince from Celebes, who ran a trading post in Singapore. However, her husband died while she was still young, and she continued to run his business after his death, acquiring a large fortune with her ships. And in the late 1830s, her house on Java Road was broken into twice and set on fire on the second time. So Hajjah Fatimah, however, was away when the arson attack occurred and was therefore unharmed. And to express her gratitude for her safety, she instructed the building of a mosque on the site where the house once stood. So she originally actually lived here. Now it becomes the mosque. The mosque was designed by an unnamed British architect. It was suggested that the minaret was designed by John Turnbull Thomson due to a perceived similarity to the design of the first spire of the St. Andrew's Cathedral. There is, however, no evidence of this. So there's no proof. So, if you really know, maybe you can share with people what do you know about. The mosque was built in 1846, and the resulting tower leans slightly around 6 degrees off center. After Hajjah Fatimah's death, her businesses passed into her family of the Syed Abdul Rahman Al-Salmo, whose son Ahmad married Hajjah Fatimah's only child, Raja Siti. Her kubur, or grave in English, which is an Arabic word, is located in a private mausoleum in the mosque, together with those of her daughter and son-in-law. Now, the main prayer hall was rebuilt in 1930s based on design by architect Chong and Wong and constructed by French contractors Bossat and Mopin with Malay workers. The rebuilding added more Islamic elements to the mosque, giving the mosque a mixture of styles. Masjid Hajjah Fatimah was gazetted as a national monument on 28 June 1973. Today, the mosque is owned by Majlis Ugama Islam Singapura, MUIS. So, Masjid Hajjah Fatimah actually contains within its wall compound a prayer hall, a mausoleum, the quarters of Imram and Asabuk area, several annexes and a garden. The building style is also electric. Perhaps its most unusual feature, is a distinctive minaret design in a European style with Doric pilasters, in direct contrast to the Islamic dome above the prayer hall. So the tower is above 6 degrees as mentioned off the center due to the moisture seepage, shifting of bricks used in the construction of the tower, and the sandy soil on which it sits. So inside there are 5 bays in its section. The largest central one flanked by miniature minarets is the entrance to the prayer hall. And a large onion dome is located above the prayer hall, which you can see over there, behind the picture. So the prayer hall is skewed from the street grid to face Mecca and is surrounded by verandas on 3 sides. It has also 12 lancet windows with yellow and green stained glass. And the 16 brick sections forming the dome are visible within the prayer hall. So for those of you living in this area and if you are Muslim, do come here to make a prayer. And for those who are interested in really finding out this historical monument, do come down to this area to actually take a look. We are here the next is the Kampongglam CC. Now Kampongglam CC, when you actually hear this name, right, you will actually hear the two words Kampongglam. So actually the whole big area is called Kampongglam itself. Now Kampongglam, what is it about? It's actually a neighborhood and antique enclave in Singapore, located north of the Singapore River in the planning area of Rochor, known as the Malay Muslim Quarter. Now the name of the area is thought to be derived from the hajjahfat tree called geylang in Malay. Kampong simply means village in Malay. Prior to the colonization by the British in 1890, the area was home to the Malay aristocracy of Singapore. It became prominent and more populous after the signing of a treaty between the British East Indian Company, Sultan Hussein Shah of Johor, and Temenggung Abdul Rahman in 1890. So the company was given the rights to set up a trading post in Singapore under this treaty. Over here at Kampongglam, right, during the colony's early history, right, under the Raffles Plan of 1822, the settlement was actually divided according to the different ethnic groups, which included like European town, Chinese Chulia, Arab and Bugis kampongs. Kampongglam was actually designed for the Sultan and his household, as well as the Malay and Arab communities, any of whom were actually merchants. So Temenggung and his followers, right, actually settled in Teluk Bangga. Sultan Hussein and his family followers, right, settled in Kampongglam actually. In return, right, the Sultan was given large area of land for residential use in Kampongglam under the treaty, and the land was actually allocated for the Malay, to the Malay and other Muslim immigrants in Singapore. Second half of the 19th century, right, saw the rapid growth of immigrant communities in Kampongglam itself, initially from Sumatra and later from other parts of Indonesia and Malaya, which resulted in setting up different kampongs like Kampong Melaka, Kampong Java and Kampong Bugis. There was also a small but successful Arab community of traders in the area. And when it goes on to the early of 20th century, commercial activities in Kampongglam expanded as new shophouses and residential areas or buildings were built. So a multi-ethnic community soon become developed over there, comprising not only of Malays and Arabs, but also the Chinese and Indians. And when it moves on to an expansion of the community commercial activities, an increase in immigrants settled in Kampongglam. So the Arabs moved to areas like Joo Chiat, Tanglin, and Bukit Tunggal. It's a stretch of Tan Eng Road near the junction of Balmoral Road and Chenchery Lane, which is near ACS Barker. Then after moving on to 1920s, many Malays also moved out to designated resettlement areas in Geylangserai and Kampong Eunos. So today, right, Kampongglam still remains strong ties to the native Malay and Muslim community, and sometimes has been termed as Muslim Quarter. Like Little Indian and Chinatown, Kampongglam has been restored and refurbished into new breath of life. Bring back the former colour and vibrancy of the area. The rows of conserved shophouses are found in Hajilane, arabstreet, Bahadak Street and Bosora Street. So many of the shophouses, right, actually have new tenants such as design firms, art galleries, crafts, curiosity shops, food caterers, and so on. And the blend with in traditional businesses like textile and carpet, right, shops, blacksmith, and selling religious items used by Muslims, right, can be found there also. So just now, right, in the previous few areas that we go to, right, that whole area is Kampongglam. And moving down here, right, is also part of Kampongglam itself. So if you are really excited about this enriched cultural and all these different interesting things happening in Kampongglam, come down here and really find out more.
One eternity later.
Geylangserai, a place where you'll find all the festivities in the past. But now due to COVID, you won't be able to see any pasar malam happening over here. So a little bit of history. This place, right, in the past, right, from 1900s, right, to 1963, right, there are a lot of developments. For example, like 1900s, right, is a terminal for first tramway in Singapore. Then after that, right, during the Japanese World War, right, World War II, right, here is severely damaged and there is shortages of food arising, which lead to the replacement of the plantations of coconut and rubber. Then in 1960s, right, which is in 1963, right, the HDB, right, initiated the Geylangserai housing, right. It becomes a redevelopment scheme. So, right, there's like 3.8 million Sing dollars, right, being used to actually redevelop the HDB and the new facilities. And in the 2000s, right, over here, right, under the master plan, right, in 2008, the URA, right, developed Paya Lebar Central, which is within the Geylangserai situated places. So Geylangserai market, right, is actually now, right, one of the distinct cultural identity which has been the busiest and the largest wet market in Singapore. And it offers many Indian, Muslim and Malay dishes as well as large variety of spices and ingredients for making of traditional Malay cuisine. We have come to the end for this virtual day. It's really excitement to actually go around to learn more about the Malay history and also the Muslim culture and all the different things related to Muslims. So, you know, in this period, during the Hari Raya festival, I think it's good to let your Malay friends know how much you care for them and love for them. And I think through this journey, I learned a lot. I feel that it's very good to understand about their culture, their history, so that, you know, I can know why they celebrate their festival in a certain way. And also, like the different places that we went to today, it's so filled with different culture steps that I learned from going through all these places. So, you know, learning the English is really something that helps me learn. And if you are interested to come to all these places, do come with your friends to, you know, visit all these places that we are seeing. So thank you for joining us today. And if you like my video, please remember to like, share and subscribe and press the notification bell. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.